My name's Angelo, and welcome to We Want Picks. Every single week, we break down full UFC fight cards. We give you our bets, we give you our picks, and we give you our fantasy plays. So make sure you like this video and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any of our content. And this video is brought to you by BETU Play to Earn. It is the world's first play to earn sports and esports betting game. Check it out now at betuearn.com. That's bet, the letter U, earn.com. Next up, at UFC 272, we have Maryna Moroz versus Mariya Agapova. And Maryna Moroz is 10-3 overall. She's 3-2 in her last five, but she has not fought in 2 years. Mariya Agapova is 10-2 overall, 4-1 in her last five, and she's coming off a submission over Sabina Mazo. Maryna Moroz is a striker who has a ton of volume, and she mixes up her strikes really well. She has nice movement on her feet. She avoids the pocket really well. If she does end up in the pocket, though, she can be hittable, and that is a problem for her. She's coming off a really nice win over Maryna Silva, where she added some grappling to the game. She was able to get 2 takedowns and almost 5 minutes of control time, and she's fighting Mariya Agapova. She's got a come-forward striking style with high volume and high pressure. She throws caution to the wind at times, and once she settles in and stops chasing a first-round knockout, she's got solid boxing with clean combinations. She possesses actual power, which is pretty surprising for this weight class. And she's got pretty good ground game as well, but her takedowns are just okay. This should be a really fun fight. We saw the women steal the show last week, and this should be a really fun fight. This could be that exact same matchup here. It's a good striking matchup between two women with a ton of volume, okay power between them. Both of them have positive striking differentials, with Agapova having the slight edge in volume and ratio. The biggest gap between them is actually in wrestling, with Agapova having the much higher takedown accuracy. Neither one of them are even at 50% with takedown defense. They're both strikers, but this may come down to the grappling. I've said it a few times already. I do think these odds are pretty wide. I mean, 2-1 for Mariya Agapova. I get it. She's got power. She's, got a lot going for her, but I'm actually going to go with the underdog here. I'm going with Maryna Moroz's movement and sort of that recent addition to offensive takedowns in her last fight. I say recent, it's been 2 years, but the fact that she added takedowns to her arsenal is very helpful. I think she needs to avoid the pocket, avoid the power. The biggest question, though, is will this fight happen? Moroz has pulled out of a ton of fights recently. She pulled out against Araujo, Santos, Ferro, who was on this card, and she dropped. But if this fight happens, I do like Moroz to win in the underdog spot. And I have to go potty, so you do your breakdown while I go to the bathroom.
Yeah, no problem. It should be short. It's the Jacob show now. Here we go. Yeah, I agree. I agree with Angelo. I think Agapova is going to have the range advantage, right? And she's going to have the power in this matchup. And if Moroz is in the pocket, she's going to be in trouble. She's got to make this a boring fight. Angelo kind of alluded to her wrestling. That's something that people don't really know that she has, but she is pretty decent at her takedown. I think they're pretty good takedowns. She gets a fight to the ground. She can control it on the ground. I think that's her best asset. If I'm Moroz, this is how I'd play it. I'd make this as boring as I can until the last 30 seconds of the round, and then I just go all in for a takedown and try to steal each round. You don't want to get in firefights with Agapova. You don't want to even really play that boxing game at all. Moroz was part of the Ukrainian boxing team, so she has very good boxing. She's got good takedowns, and I wish Angela was here, because if there's one thing that I learned in the past, past week or something like that, is that you do not mess with Ukrainian people. They do not mess around, man. And Moroz is very proud Ukrainian. She's on the Ukrainian boxing team. Those are the toughest people in the world right now. I think they're proving that. I think she's going to be motivated as ever. People alluded to it in the chat. If there was ever a lock of the week that I'm going to make, it's going to be with Ukraine and Moroz. That's the lock of the week. I mean, this is the easiest one I've ever seen. This is from the heart, but I think she can win as well. I think she's got to stay out of the firefights, as you mentioned. I don't know if you heard that part, but yes. I think that she can win it if she can just make it boring. I don't know if she's going to be able to make it boring and just get those last takedowns so you can take her down and there's no really threat submission because there's not enough time in the round. That's how I'd play it if I was Moroz, but that's my lock of the week. Ukraine, baby.
Well, and honestly, what's going on in her home country, I don't know if that's a factor. I mean, it's a factor. I just don't know which direction, right? She may be so
And she's fired up. She's fired. I sent you that quote where she was told Putin to go F himself and stuff. So she's involved and she's fired up.
Yeah, but that may like suck her dry emotionally, and she may come out hasn't fought in 2 years. Like, who knows?
I know,
that's
because she's going to come out, and this is a full crowd. Remember, it's a pay-per-view. This isn't Apex, so she's going to come out. This is middle of the prelims with the Ukrainian flag, and that place is going to go nuts. And she's going to have an adrenaline rush, and how she handles that is really going to dictate the fight.
Yeah, 2 years off is interesting. Plus, with everything else going on, but I do like her to win. I just have to assume when we do these breakdowns of fighters on short notice or long layoffs, I have to assume that they fight like how they fight. And if she fights the way she fought her last fight, I think she beats Mariya Agapova. $7,400. This is one of the people I may need to put in my lineup to afford some of those super expensive fighters that we talked about earlier. She is an underdog. I don't know if I'm going to place a bet. I'll see how she looks at weigh-ins before I actually do a bet, because there is so much going on. You know, she may just be a shell of herself, and, you know, I can't imagine emotionally what's going on there. Monkey knife fight is interesting. I hate these high lines. It probably is a more, but 2-year layoff, neither one of them could defend a takedown. Like, I'm actually not going to touch monkey knife fight, but what do you think of that line?
It's probably a more. Moroz is tough. Even if she stays in the pocket, I don't think she's ever been finished, if I remember correctly. I think it's just 3 decision losses. This is a different level of power with Agapova, but and you mentioned the betting. I put her in an underdog parlay with another one of my like backup lock of the weeks that you'll find out later. But I actually like her in this matchup to be able to put her in a parlay to see how it plays out.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. Actually, you know what parlay I'll throw her in? Not to do too many plugs, but that BETU play to earn, it's cryptocurrency, and you basically bet online on sports with cryptocurrency, and if you win, you earn more crypto. You mine it. If you lose, it literally doesn't matter. You get to keep the amount you started with. So what I like to do every week is I do an undercard parlay, they call them multis, and or underdog, and a favorite. The favorite hits, and if the underdog hits, great. If not, no big deal. So I may do that with Maryna Moroz here, because I like her to win. I do think she wins this fight, but there's so many questions that when it literally comes to putting my money where my mouth is, it's a little bit harder of a decision to make. But if you want $50, go to WeWantPicks.com/bets, sign up, make a deposit, let me know after you do, and I send you $50. Cash App, PayPal, Venmo, literally however you want it. Go to the website, sign up. Right there on the website is the claim your $50. Fill it out. I get it. I pay you. That simple. WeWantPicks.com/bets.